this is how you build your brand and this is what you do with this. Everyone has an opinion. Where is their answer? Where is their solution? Show me your profound brand. And instead of downing anybody, I say, you know what, Nathalie, you're just as bad as them because you're not doing anything to help other people. So I'm back outside on purpose. I'm on tour, a podcast, live show in different cities all over the world. We're back interacting with our tribe. We're back at our events, master classes every month because nobody is gonna be left behind.
This for all the girls around the world. Yeah.
Welcome back to the For Every Woman show. I am so excited to be here. As you guys know, last week was my first ever episode as a For Every Woman brand. And I gotta be honest with you, I was a little nervous. You guys' feedback was so warming, so loving, and I've been able to really share my truth with you all. See, a lot of times I realize that when you are trying to show up as your authentic self, there's that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you that you're not enough and everyone's laughing at you and all these weird things that's not true. So today we're gonna have a real conversation. The conversation is gonna be exactly what I did to rebuild my confidence. I know that you see all the social media followers. I know you see me on different stages. I know you heard my story, but the truth really is that I've always been fighting to build my confidence. See, it started as a little girl. Do you remember that saying, pretty for a brown skinned girl? Well, I didn't really realize the impact that it had on my life until my adult life. As an adult, I feel like I was overcompensating to fit in, overcompensating to really feel good about who I am as a woman, and overcompensating to be liked. And I realized that played a major role in my decisions. I also realized throughout my seasons of life and my ups and downs that voice in the back of my head still exists. So as I went through my last fall, as I shared on my last show, I didn't really realize that I had to go back to the trauma, go back to disappointment, the rejection, and deal with that very thing. So as you are listening today, I want you to think to yourself, what is that thing that really triggers me? What is that thing that's like nudging me and making me feel like I'm not enough? What is that thing that you know is causing you not to get to your next dimension? See, when you really tap in to that spirit man, that's when the flesh can reveal what the problem is. And I realized a couple things about myself that was really causing me to not be as confident in my womanhood as the blessing that God created in this world. One, it was the spirits of people pleasing. We're going to talk about it. Keep it a buck. Have you ever walked in a room and felt uncomfortable and you knew something was off? Like something was just feeling weird, but you stay in the room? I'm asking that question. Like you sat in the room, you stayed there, you took photos, you interacted with a bunch of random people. You guys even exchanged Instagram names. But you knew something in your spirit just didn't feel right. Like you just didn't belong. That was me majority of my life. And it came to the point in my life where all the way up into my big age at 35, I realized enough was enough. I realized that same spirit that allowed people to say I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl, that same spirit that allowed me to feel like my light had to be dimmed all the time just to fit in, was the same spirit when I realized that I was invited to places or I was in situations that I just wasn't happy in anymore. So when you remove yourself out of spaces that compromise your confidence, that's when you're able to rebuild your confidence. The next thing we're going to have a conversation about, that what I did is looking in the mirror, I had the opportunity to really look in the mirror. And I'm talking about not just on the surface, not just with the makeup on. I'm talking about look in the mirror. And I had to ask myself, are you happy with who you are? And I'm going to talk to you guys a lot about this because, you know, we're just getting to know each other again. It's been 2 years. We're just getting acquainted again. And I really feel like you can live your life and you could show up as this person and not even recognize yourself, to the point where you're posting on social media, to the point where you're being celebrated and honored, but you don't really like yourself. I had to look in the mirror. I had to ask myself, from a scale to 1 to 10, how do you feel about you? To the point where tears are in my eyes. And I realized that I was not the woman that I was posting. I realized that I wasn't okay with the bare root of Nathalie Nicole Smith, to the point where I started to accept whoever people thought I was and started to believe that's who I was. So when I went back a little bit, I went back to remembering that when I was in my mother's womb, God already knew who I was. Before this woman evolved, when I was in my mother's womb for 9 months, God already created me. He predestined me for greatness. He chose me for this life. He knew what my hair was gonna look like. He knew what my skin was gonna look like. He knew what my smile was gonna look like. He knew every aspect of Nathalie. And he knows you too. And when you're stripping the things that have worn down your confidence, it's time to build it back up and remembering who you are and whose you are. And confidence is not just the aesthetics. It's, are you confident in the person that God has created? Do you believe that you're enough? Do you believe that you're worthy? Regardless of what he said you are, regardless of how fine you really look, regardless if you feel like if you did this, that, and the third to your body or your skin or your hair, that's extra. My question to you, from a scale to 1 to 10, what is it going to take for you to be happy with who you really are? I told y'all last episode, I started going to the gym. I started working out more. I started realizing that, like, Nathalie, this is going to be a process. It's going to take some time. But I also reevaluated my circle. I reevaluated, who am I on the phone with? Who am I really, like, intertwining with the most? And here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with the friends that you have. There's nothing wrong with your coworkers. But the truth really is, to really stand in your truth, you have to strip everything away to really rebuild what you love again. So what I did, last but not least, until we have our other conversation, I realized that I had to start making better decisions. My decision-making skills was interfering with my confidence. Me saying yes, me going with the winds, me not standing up for myself was making me dim my light all the time. It was to the point where I would put myself in a situation, and then after the situation went so bad that I no longer realized who I was as a being. So you have to say to yourself, you're going to go through your phone, your emails, your phone, your FaceTimes, all that stuff. And I want you to do a quick exercise. And I want you to add, next to each person's name, a plus and a minus. a plus and a minus. Mom plus. Dad plus. Sister plus. Ex, friends, boyfriend, plus or minus. You know how you feel. You got to be real. And what happens is, when I did that plus minus exercise, I no longer text the same people. I no longer email the same people. I no longer DM the same people. I no longer felt eager to have to hang out with the same folks. And I started to understand Nathalie more. And as you dig a little bit deeper, as you dive a little bit deeper, that's when you become that fearless being that God has called you to be. That's when you understand that faith and fear can't operate in the same space. That's when you get the power. I'm talking about that big dog power, where now you wake up every single morning understanding that joy comes in the morning, understanding that you are enough, understanding that you are worthy, understanding that you were not put on this earth as a mistake. And when you unlearn and relearn the things that recreate that beautiful being that God has called you to become, that's when you start to feel good about yourself again. That's when you start to be a really good person to others. And as I've been really digging in the book of Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for your life. Plans not to harm you, plans not to hurt you, but plans to prosper you. And I would speak this over my life a lot. But I said, you know what? I want to understand the book a little bit more. And when I really did a little bit more research, I did a little bit more digging, and I realized that Jeremiah was a gangster, y'all. Jeremiah was going through so much in life, so many hurdles, so many ups and downs, and still he continued to trust God. And I looked at my life, and again, I'm not going to compare myself to Jeremiah, but most times we have the spirit of so many spirit beings in the Bible. And you can learn so much from the Bible. And I realized that I don't have to go through life insecure. I don't have to go through life not having confidence. I don't have to go through life accepting things that I don't deserve. I don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. And you have to say to yourself today that enough is enough. And you have to say to yourself, and I'm having a real conversation with you guys, because I told y'all if I come back, I'm not coming to play. I'm coming so we can be able to evolve. I believe that every single woman and every soul listening right now deserves to live that life that's sweatless, that's sweet, that has harmony, that feels good. And when I look at the book of Jeremiah, and I look at the ability to be able to persevere and to have resilience, I think about our life. So I want you to think. What are some things in my life that I just need to get a grip on? What are some things in my life that I just need to trust God? I need to literally gather it up and give it to God, because he has not forgotten about you. And when your trust is truly in the plan, and when you understand that this circumstance that you're in right now is not going to make you and is not going to break you. And I'm going to say that again. The circumstance is not going to make you and is not going to break you. That's when a new thing happens. And when I looked at my life, I thought life was pretty much over. I know, it sounds crazy. Nathalie, how can you think life is over? You're financially free. You have this, you have that. See, things can't make up for spirit. Things cannot compensate for spirit. When you are not in a good space, when you are not happy, when you're not feeling good, there is nothing material things can do to overpower the feeling of not feeling good. And I'm serious, y'all. I'm very serious. You have to say to yourself that you are going to release it and give it to God. The next thing you're going to do, because it's action season, is you are going to write out income producing activity. What are you going to do every single day to fit in your routine to get active? What are you going to do to get active? Who you got to cut off? Who do you have to become? What do you have to read? What do you have to do? This is your life. This is not anybody else's life but yours. And if you're serious about your life evolving, you have to trust that you are at the right place at the right time. You have to trust that you are going to make it through. And that's where I am right now. Yeah, I was on social media this week and listening to you guys, seeing your comments. Man, you guys are amazing. And one of the things I love about this season of our lives together is I get to do it again with you all. I get to change the narrative. I get to pivot my brands. I get to make decisions that are affecting both of us, you and I. And I get to stand in it, and I'm able to be confident in this space. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you did it once, you can do it again. If you did it once, you can do it again. You are as good as your last win. And it's up to you to be able to rebuild that big, that big win again. I'm talking about that win that God already placed in your spirit that you know you can accomplish. But you got to get serious. You got to get serious. It's not going to be easy. And I'm here in LA, and I told myself, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving until Embody is pivot and launched. I wasted so much money. You guys, so much money I wasted hiring this person taking my money, this person saying they're going to do this. It is like, God, is this for real? Do people not have character and integrity? What I found out is that it was me making decisions that were comfortable. It was me making decisions that honestly was not going to feed my spirit and align with my goals. It was me making decisions that were truly convenient and not really doing my due diligence. The next thing I said to myself is, Nathalie, you have TLC, you have Woman Who Boss, you have Embody. Are you going to get in your head and are you going to say to yourself that you don't have enough time? Or are you going to get to work? So I am so organized. I have a schedule that I stick to. I have a routine that I stick to. I have a team that I communicate with. And I am so serious about my time that I spend throughout my day. And you have to look at the time that you're spending all day on everything, even working out, even hanging out with your girlfriends. Whatever it is, you have to get serious about that. And as you regroup, that's when the brand is built again. And the true brand, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. Don't worry. We have some time together. But your true brand begins with you. Your brand is your DNA. Your brand is your first and last name. The CEO, the professional, the one that is on the dotted line, that's your brand. Stop letting people tell you that your brand is just your business name. That's a subsidiary of your brand. Your brand is who you are. Your DNA of who you are every single day. Because your brand feeds every single thing that you believe in. After seeing so much chaos on social media about just this is how you build your brand and this is what you do with this. And I'm like, everyone has an opinion, but where is their answer? Where is their solution? Show me your profound brand. And instead of downing anybody, I say, you know what, Nathalie, you're just as bad as them because you're not doing anything to help other people. So I'm back outside on purpose. I'm on tour. My podcast live show is in different cities all over the world. We're back interacting with our tribe. We're back at our events, online, master classes every month because nobody is going to be left behind. Not a soul. So as I close, because I'll be here all day with y'all, we no longer are acting like we are not a big deal. We are very much a big deal. We are a big deal. And you got to say to yourself, I'm a big deal. I am worthy. I am confident in my dreams. Nothing or no one will get in between what God has for me. And you got to say it with your chest out. And you can't play with it. Because if you don't believe in you, who else will? And when I start tapping into Nathalie again, I start seeing things for what they are. I start aligning myself with the right things. I start understanding who in my life is authentic and who in my life is here for the moment. And I start respecting people for what it is and leaving them right where it is, because everything is flow. Everything is flow. Nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to God. And when you understand that everything is flow, you don't get so caught up on the things. So as you're rebuilding you up, you're getting back into the flow. You're getting back into the flow. You're allowing the flow to happen. You're accepting the blessings and you're allowing the flow to happen. I need you to bet on yourself again. Today, I need you to tell yourself, I am a big deal. Today, I need you to get serious about your brand, your business, your dreams, and your relationship with God. I can't forget that. Because with God, everything is possible. With God, all things work together for his good. And when you make a decision that every single day you're going to give it all you got, that's when your biggest win starts to show up. I am so grateful for you all. As I conclude this second show, it's like I just see so much in you. I see so much in you. I see what God is about to do in your life. I see that you're so close and you can't give up. And if you have to replay this show over and over and over again on your way to work, on your way to a meeting, on your way to pick up your children, on your way to God knows where, I want you to remember you can't give up and you're just getting started. And God's plans are way more sufficient than your agenda. When you do this every single day, that's when your biggest win is gonna come knocking at your door. I cannot wait to build with you guys. I cannot wait to see where For Every Woman is gonna take us. But right now, I need you to continue to support the show because we're just getting started. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe because you are how we get to the next level. Your support, your love, your feedback, your comments, that's how we can change lives all across the world because we're for every woman. Love you guys and see you next week.